What's up, guys? It looks like a final crypto crash is incoming. I wish it was clickbait, but I'm not trying to do any clickbait on this channel. And as you may know, I am the biggest bull out there. I'm a long-term crypto believer, but I saw a few things on multiple charts that indicate that we might see another big crash. And the final crash, it's what I call it, because there are also reasons for me to believe that that will be the last one. So why, how, when, what, where? Stay tuned, subscribe to the FOMO Factory. Let's get it to 1,000 subscribers. We are going to make it, but you have to be really careful. Let me take you to the charts to show you why I think that. This is the chart where I found it out. So I started checking out some more charts because you do not base all your analysis on one thing, but the rest kind of backs it up. So yeah, that got me kind of, worried. It depends. If you have money to buy the dip, then you should not be worried, of course, but you want to know what to expect. What I noticed is that if I take a look at the weekly Bitcoin chart and we pull up the stochastic RSI, so the stochastic RSI is this right here. Let me remove the normal RSI for now. This is the stochastic RSI. And what I noticed is this right here. Every time the stochastic RSI on the weekly is pretty high and it comes down, we have a crash in Bitcoin as well, of course, right? And I'm gonna show you every time we were this high and we were to the lows, we went to the lows. Here we had a crash of 43%. And this is over the last 9 times this happened, right? And I can take it way further back, but the 9 times, that gives a pretty, accurate average. So here we had a crash of 43%. Here we were that high as well. And we went there, right? And what happened in the chart? A drop of 61%. Then we had another one. We had here, we were this high, that was the top, and we went down. So here was the bottom, that was 21%. The next one was a drop of 31%, 24%, 50%, and 62%. That's an average over the last 9 times of 42% to the downside, right? Now, it looks like this is all already kind of reversing. Unless Bitcoin shoots up right now, then it could be that we first go more sideways or even higher. That's possible. But if it reverses right now, I mean, it has to happen at some point, right? If it reverses right now, what can we expect? Well, let's take the average first, right? I mean, therefore, it's the average. So we want to take it from the top to the bottom. So this was the top, as you can see, and that was exactly at this level. If we take it down from here to 42%, guys, then we are sitting at $14,600 for Bitcoin. This is slightly more, so let's say $15,000. Then I started checking out, like, okay, that goes against a lot of theories that I have, because what's my fucking shit? I don't know. Because I don't think that we will make new lows, but we can definitely revisit the low, right? So, and also I would like to check out, like, okay, $15,000 Bitcoin, cool. Let's say that's actually true, right? Take that average. So let's say around $15,000. Let's put it around here. Is there a place in the chart that backs it up, as in there's a lot of resistance or support going on right there? Yeah, not really, right? I mean, we had the resistance sitting at 19,000 in the last peak of the bull run. And that $15,000 was never really a problem here as well. I mean, here we had resistance of around 11,500, right? That's also not near that level. And here as well, when we broke out, 15,000 was not a problem. So it's not that I feel like, okay, 15K doesn't make sense to me. So, but therefore it's an average, right? Could be more, could be less. But then I, felt like, okay, but what could it be in that case? So we're gonna talk about what I think the crash is going to be like. Don't pin me to it. I don't know. Nobody has a clue, right? We can only speculate, and that's what we like to do on this channel, of course. But first, a couple of things that actually back this up, because like I said, this is not the only thing you want to take a look at. Well, for example, if we take a look at the DXY is the dollar currency index, and this is the strength of the dollar. And for the people that don't know, the higher this is, the more fucked we are in crypto and all kind of assets, right? So, and this is making highs like a motherfucker, right? I mean, it was never that high since September 2002. All right, 2002. We didn't had no Bitcoin back then. All right, so you have to understand that Bitcoin is in the what I can see as a upside. The dollar was never that strong, aka you know, assets like stocks, Bitcoin, all that kind of stuff, risk-on assets were never that weak, and Bitcoin staying up on, you know, this level where we are right now, I find it kind of plausible, to be honest. So that's a good thing. But the DXY is making highs, and lately, you know, we had a top of around 109, and we came down quite a lot, and people were like, "Oh, the trend's broken." But if you take a look at this, the trend is not necessarily broken. If I have to be really artistic, I draw it like, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna mess around too much with that. But the trend is not really that broken. All the DXY did was, when we came back down, was making a higher low. Right? We had a low, we had a low, we had a higher low. We had a higher low, so we have a high, we have a higher high, higher high, higher high. So what could happen right now is, yeah, I don't know, man. We went up, down, up, down, up, down. Will we go up now and make a new higher high on the DXY, aka lower for crypto? It backs it up. It backs it up. Also, plus the fact that if we take a look at the stochastic RSI on the DXY chart, on the weekly chart, it is pretty low. It is pretty low right now. So it will only make sense to, you know, what I just drawn, that it goes up here. I mean, that's what it does, right? We go down, we go up. 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 So that's something that concerns me a little bit as well. Now, if we take a look at the stocks, like the S&P 500, for example, it's also, you know, as you may know, S&P and Bitcoin are kind of correlated, right? And yeah, if I take a look at this, then I feel like, all right, this looks like, this area right here looks like kind of a big resistance. We had a lot of resistance right here, and it was kind of, you know, multiple times support as well. And now it looked like we broke it, but maybe really not really, right? So it might be that the S&P comes down as well. And, you know, wouldn't you know, the stochastic RSI on the S&P is also quite high. By the way, I'm shooting this video one day on forehand, so happy Tuesday. It's Monday right now here. So if you see slightly different numbers, you know, but this, what I'm saying right now, is for the midterm. You know, if I talk about the short term, it's more about days. Midterm is more about weeks. And if we talk about the long term, then we're definitely talking about months and years. But yeah, no, for the midterm, I feel like shit, not looking so fantastic, to be honest. So that's the DXY, that's the S&P 500. Now, I haven't taken a look at the Nasdaq, but if we take a look at the Nasdaq right now, I can kind of see the same thing. You could say that the Nasdaq is turning, you know, resistance into support right here. Kind of looks like it, as it was kind of resistance right here. It took support right here, support right here. We broke through it right now, and we try to, you know, test that support. And it would be nice, what I would like to see, for this not to play out, for the bull case scenario, is that the S&P, and in that case, so also Bitcoin, basically, and all other altcoins, is going a little sideways, maybe down, test this level, maybe have a fake out, come back up, but basically hovering around here, while the stochastic RSI is coming down and gets ready to reset, and then we really basically just bounce from this level. But there is a long way to go on the stochastic RSI, and there's not a lot of room here. So I guess we are going to break this, and that can take us down quite a lot. So that also goes for Bitcoin. I don't know where the right chart is. So here, so yeah. In my opinion, that 42% that we are talking about, we can get pretty close to that. But like I said, what would it be? Well, I'm going to give you my opinion on that. But first, as you can see at the title, altcoin holders must watch out. Yeah, because this is the thing. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance right now, look, expecting that Bitcoin indeed comes down, and we'll leave it open for now how much it comes down. But let's say Bitcoin indeed comes down, right? And we're gonna test some lows, or some support lines. What do we see in the Bitcoin dominance right here? Well, what I see at the Bitcoin dominance is that we are sitting at pretty tight support, right? You could say that this is support, and again, that we broke it and that we're trying to test it as resistance and get rejected. But yeah, if we draw it like this, it's also accurate. And in that case, we are sitting on support, and this looks more accurate to me. So this is basically what Bitcoin dominance is hovering around on. Yeah, fuck it, give or take this area right here, right? Also pretty low stochastic RSI, as you can see. Here we go. So what's only understandable for me to expect right now is that the RSI will go back up, and that the Bitcoin dominance goes back up as well, right? So that would mean more money going into Bitcoin and less in altcoins. But if Bitcoin is already coming down, it means that altcoins are coming down even way harder. So I don't know if this is gonna play out. Don't act, don't sell, don't do anything just based on this video. Check it out for yourself. Check what other people have to say. I don't know what I haven't seen anybody talking about this yet, but it might. But it might be kind of a warning sign that altcoins could have a pretty hard dump the coming weeks. And therefore, I haven't checked this yet, but let's take a look at the total 2 and the total 3. So we have the total market cap. That's every crypto asset, right? Then, cool. And then we have the total 2, which is without Bitcoin, so that's only altcoins, right? This is basically the one we would take a look at. And we have the total 3, that's altcoins minus Ethereum, right? So let's start with the total 2. And if I take a look at the total 2, yeah, also I see that, goddamn this thing, I see that, the stochastic RSI is already flipping bearish right here. And you can see that in the price chart as well. I mean, it's coming down now. Let's first take a look like what is actually support right here. Well, that's pretty clear to me that this is support, right? We have resistance here. We had some stuff going on right here. We have big support right here. So it might be that the total 2 comes down to this point. So another 20% from here. Doesn't mean that your altcoin is going to drop 20%. It might be that yours is going to drop 60%. Sorry, I don't know. Could be that yours will be pretty steady and stable and strong. Now, how to find such a triple S altcoin? Subscribe to the channel, I would say. I talk a lot about it because, what happens in the midterm, okay, cool. But in the long term, we will be fine. And this is just a great, moment to accumulate, in my opinion. So prepare, build, research, do all that kind of stuff, right? But this is something you want to know, because if you have money to dollar cost, are you going to do it today? Or based on everything what you see right now, would you be like, okay, maybe I should wait a little bit to see how this is going to play out? Because if I can get my favorite altcoins for 40% discount or whatever, yeah, sign me up, rather than buying now, right? So check out this chart for yourself, save it somewhere. I won't be surprised if the DXY is going to make high highs and that Bitcoin will go down from here. Now, like I said, let's talk about where Bitcoin might be headed. Let me open up a fresh chart right here. This doesn't take it back really. This is a good chart, okay. What can we expect for Bitcoin to happen? Like I said, if we drop, 42%, then it will put us around this level right here, right? But there's not much going on right there. It can get more than 42%, but then again, I feel like it doesn't really make sense, guys, because we have a lot of indicators that show us that the bottom is already in. For example, when it's on my screen right now, the pi cycle bottom indicator, and only 3 times this trend, and we're testing the 3rd time right now. So if it's actually accurate, we don't know. But the previous 2 times, the only 2 times, it was like not even correct. It was pretty damn accurate, like really accurate. All right, so even if it's not accurate this time, I feel like it's coming pretty close. So people ask, calling for 10K Bitcoin. I don't see that happen. I don't see that happen. I might be wrong though. I've been wrong before. I don't know. I'm just a guy on the internet. Don't sue me. But I don't see that happen. But that's just one. You know, this is not a video. I can make a video if you want about all the bottom indicators, so you can be a little more like me. Like, oh yeah, shit, this is actually a good moment to buy some. But yeah, I don't think that we will go down below this level. But what might happen is that we are going to at least test it, right? Maybe here, maybe just 18K, right? And in that case, 18K, you know, that would give us some kind of a double bottom, basically. It would make sense that will be the final low, and you know, the final low, yeah, the final low. So yeah, if we test these ranges, it will give us a price drop of 25%. It's not really near to 42, but yeah, then again, there were also times that we went down like 20%, as you saw. Therefore, it's an average. Worst case scenario, we will test these 17,000 lows. 30% already coming closer. Now, I said like the final crash, and why do I expect this to be the final crash, and why not another crash after that, and maybe, you know, another crash after that? Yeah, well, it's just my expectation, but from the moment we crashed until the moment of the next crash, here it took 238 days. From the moment to this crash to the to this crash, it took 175 days. From this crash to this crash, it took 140 days. From this crash to this crash, it took 245 days. And wait for it, I'm getting to the point. This crash to this crash was way sooner though. This was 60 days. This crash to this crash was 145 days. So if we take it from, let's say that this will be the crash right now. And if we take, I don't know the exact average, but around 150 days, it would put us at January 2023 before the next, you know, big crash just like this. I don't believe that in 23 January we have the same conditions right now. The macros are changing. A lot of stuff is already priced in. People are getting shaken out, but there is not really something anymore to back it up. We are in a recession, yes. There is inflation going on, yes. But that, you know, I'm very convinced that a lot of that is already priced in, as people saw this coming and people sold that news already. What's the point of selling it now? Also, if we take a look at the previous market cycles where we had the first peak incoming, right? Here, we went from the first peak up till we started going up again around 470 days, right? If we take a look at the cycle before that, we had the first peak, and once we started going up again, which was around here something, 670 days. So let's say that's 600, 400, average thousands, 500 days. Okay, if we take a look at the peak, the first peak we had in this cycle, plus around 500 days, it will put us around now, basically around somewhere, you know, well, in this period that we could see an upcycle coming. That's, you know, that has room for leverage, and I don't expect that to happen next week. But, you know, then again, I don't feel like in this period, you know, here we're gonna get that such of a crash again. I just don't believe that. And also, if we take a look at the monthly chart at stochastic RSI, if you want to put some things in perspective right here, check out every time we were this low on the chart. Here we did 100x, was incredible. Here in the last bull run, we did around a 20x, something like that on Bitcoin, not even altcoins. That was like crazy, right? You know, that is what's going to happen, in my opinion, in the bigger scheme of things. So when it comes to that, I'm not worried. We just want to buy as low as possible, right? Therefore, we're making these videos. But every time, how long did we stay in this oversold area? Well, here it was from the moment we went down to the moment we went up again, around 300, you know, let's say 400 days. Okay, then this right here, when we went down, was around this area up till we went up, which was here around 400 days. It's not a lot of data to base it on, but what if we are going to do the same right now? 400 days from the moment we broke down. So we can take it from here, but we actually broke down here, right? So if we take 400 days, where does it put us? Exactly in January. That's pretty coincidental, but 400 days. Okay, if that's the case, of course, we don't know if 400 days is the case. So what I am personally expecting right now is the following. I think by this time, we will go back up. That's what I think. But, and you know, that's around that time. If it's the first week of January and did it happen, don't come complain at me. I mean, that could be February, that could be December, you know, but somewhere around that area is what I expect, right? And that's my expectation. Don't pin me to it. I can't look in the future. It's totally nonsense. It's just what I think, right? What I think that will happen in the meantime is Bitcoin, like I said, it will have its final crash to, you know, and it's I call it a crash, like, but yeah, 20, 30, 40% is, in my opinion, quite of a crash, right? But it will happen and it will go back up. And it's basically, if you zoom out, it's just going sideways. And then around this period, I think we will go back up. So I'm making a lot of videos about this. Really stick to the channel. This is important stuff in the bear market, because this is the time where you want to prepare. You do not want to be one of these people that forgets about crypto now. And then when this happens, you know, when we were here, when this happens, you be like, oh, crypto, that's nice, here's my money, and then go down again. That's not what you want. We lost a lot of money. How not to lose money when everything on the macro is heavily oversold, when we are super low, when we have multiple bottom indicators, when bears are taking the overhand, where panic and disbelief and you know, people not believing it anymore. When that's all around us, that's where we want to be, to accumulate slowly dollar cost into right good quality crypto projects. And once this happens, we can make a lot of money with it. But we have to be patient, and we don't want to get shaken out by what might happen in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, we could see a big drop. I don't expect us to go lower than the previous low. If that happens, though, let's, because you always want to consider, what if I'm wrong? Well, then I expect, you know, 16K, something like that, around 16K. That will be my ultimate low, but I don't think that would happen. So, but you know, do with it whatever you want. I hope this was a little useful. If it was, subscribe to the channel. Let's get us to 1,000 subscribers. Please like the video, help me push it into YouTube's algorithm a little bit, and trick YouTube into thinking that this is good content. You know, leave a comment about something, and yeah, trade safe, and I'll try to be here every single day. Bye.